it can't be denied, right? This is something that has been happening for a long time. Also, we got to look at it from this perspective as how women, right, especially color women, are never truly pushed or are never truly promoted to be in positions of power, right? Which this brings me to our next video. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish off with my own opinion about this whole conversation.
Women being able to get those equivalent positions, it just hasn't happened.
I have to mention this. There's a viral moment this week on ESPN that many people saw that you tweeted about, where the shorthand version of it is Stephen A. Smith, who's the host of, I think, 90% of their morning programming now, basically said, I have platformed, I have talked about the WNBA, I pretty much put everybody on the map. And Monica McNutt, who is honestly one of the best NBA analysts out there, said, look, Stephen A., you could have been talking about this for years.
The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
All right. Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talk about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Wow.
All right, we gotta go. You guys.
So did you say
you're my guy, but
who does more than us?
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
Wow.
Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have.
Okay.
I'm talking to you.
My question to you, Jemele, is, to me, that seems to be the epitome of what you're talking about. This woman is one of the best NBA analysts out there. She doesn't have a show. You were one of the few women who had a show. Talk a little bit about how sexism has blocked women, especially women from color, from even being able to dominate or lead these conversations.
It is hard because on one hand, you do see a lot more women who are in the space. You know, as you mentioned, you have Chene, a former player, former #1 pick as well with the WNBA. You have Andrea Carter, you have Elle, you have Monica McNutt. And ESPN typically leads the way because they have the largest platform. They can get anybody they want. Like, they have the pockets to be diverse, right? And so hence why I was on the network for 12 years. But at the same time, when you think about the general opinion vacuum, where are the women that are driving any conversation about sports? Not even just about women's sports, but any conversation. I mean, Stephen A., as you mentioned, he's the face of ESPN. He has his own show every day built in. He's all over the network. You know, it's a position he's earned. It's a position that he's fought hard to get. But there's no female equivalent of that. There's no female equivalent of a Pat McAfee. There isn't one. And in this vacuum, because look, it was the same way when I first got into sports journalism as a professional. 90% of jobs in sports media were white men. That has changed a little bit. But when you look at the growth of women being able to get those equivalent positions, it just hasn't happened.
And, you know, I love Jemele Hill's perspective on this conversation, because I think those are the things that we need to be talking about. We need to be talking about women getting into space of power, women getting into space where men have been dominant. You know, I think we need to start talking about how women can fit in these spaces without telling, you know, the men to, like, you know, piss off, but also being able to sit in that same conference room and be able to have their opinion, you know, hold weight, right? Have their opinion be valid, right? I think this is what the WNBA is showing us right now, is that women, as women, we need to stop pushing for each other, right? We need to push ourselves to get into these type of spaces. We need to push ourselves to get into rooms like this, right? And I love the fact that, you know, Jemele Hill's talked about this perspective, because I feel like a lot of people are just talking about, you know, people don't like Caitlin Clark, or people don't like Angela Reese, or, you know, people are picking on Caitlin Clark because she's white and people are jealous of her. You know, those are all like normal things that, you know, people face every single day, right? It's not because it's Caitlin Clark why they're picking on her, right? It's not because of her, because it's just her, right? Of course, you know, if you're the best of the best, everybody wants to be the best of the best. I feel like people are forgetting that the WNBA or the pro, right? Only 1% of people that play sports in high school will make it to pro. 1% of people that play pro basketball or any other type of sports, but let's keep it to basketball. 1% of people that